everyone, welcome to my floor. Today's video is going to be kind of following on from my last Wish haul, and it's going to be reviewing what I now think is possibly the worst and the smallest hamster cage in the world. So this is what has arrived in the post. I was surprised when the package arrived because I thought there's no way they could fit a hamster cage in there, but they have. So we're going to take a look at the listing, review it, and then see if we can set it up as if a hamster would live in it. So this is one that was available on Wish. It was £7 and then there was postage of £4. So altogether it's not that cheap considering how rubbish it is. But it's now gone up to £10 on the website, and of course they give you that unrealistic recommended retail price of £24. So it's listed on Wish as a small animal carrier, apple, living habitat, vacation house, gerbil, dwarf, hamster, mouse. So they do say that it's a carrier or a vacation house, but they also say living habitat. So it's really open to interpretation, and you know that people are going to force their hamsters to live in here. So in the description it says, an easy to clean and resistant to odours. Think about an animal living in here and what the stink would be like. All the pee will be condensed into a small area of bedding and it's going to reek. So it adds a natural look to your pet's home. Now let's have a think about where hamsters, gerbils, mice originate from in the wild. And let's think about that beautiful natural habitat. And let's think about this pink plastic thing here. Natural look. But it also gives them a fun spot to play. So a fun and colourful activity toy for your pet. Provide a safe harbour for your small animal with lookout holes to keep an eye out. This product uses environmental plastic, safe without any odour and non-toxic. I will give them that. It doesn't smell. Through the transparent wall you can completely see your lovely pet and maintain good communication. Terrorise them. This cage is composed of 2 parts. Rest the top and bottom for food and action, maintaining a pleasant and clean environment. It also has measures adequate to keep them healthy. In a bright, nice colour and elegant design, he keeps his charming, funny and enthusiastic pet. It can be used as a good gift for the pet of your children or their friends. Ideal for gerbil, dwarf hamster, mouse and other small furry animals. Made with pet safe plastic materials with a metal door on the front. Well ventilated and easy to clean. The apple shaped vacation house has everything needed, including a water bottle and food dish. It even has a cute slide so the hamster can travel to different levels. So it does actually have measurements down here but right at the bottom. So it measures a whole 19 centimetres by 16 centimetres by 19 centimetres. All of that space. So it does say that this can be used for gerbils and mice as well, but I will be focusing on hamsters because I've never had a gerbil or a mouse. So what they've included in here is the bottom of the cage, the top of the cage. You've got a second level here with a little plastic house that fits in here. So obviously this is tiny, and they say dwarf hamster, but there is a Syrian hamster pictured. So how a Syrian hamster, even this is very small for a dwarf, to be honest. I wouldn't put a house this small in with my dwarves, but yeah, how a Syrian would fit in here, I have no idea. So that clips on there, and this they say is an arena. So I don't know what that's for, whether they have some gladiator games in there, I don't know. And then you've got this little plasticky slide thing here. Oh, we've also got instructions for the hamster apple land. Hamster apple land. So it also includes this tiny little food bowl here, which I believe clips into the base somehow. So that is the size of the base. Just this tiny little bit here. We're going to be able to fit loads of bedding in there for digging, aren't we? So it's got got these little holes that you have to snap these little things into. I think I've finally done it. Now I do not trust the way that this snaps onto there. It does come apart quite easily. I feel like if you didn't snap it on that carefully. When I originally put it together for my Wish haul, before I decided that it deserved a video in itself, one time I picked it up and the bottom just fell off, and obviously if that had a hamster in it, and the bottom fell off and it had a hamster in it, obviously if it was from some height they could get injured. I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. So that is everything in there put together. Look how spacious this is. Wow. Obviously it doesn't come with a wheel or anything like that, because where would you put it? It's just plasticky and gross and I hate it. Can you tell? Also, it doesn't even look like an apple, does it? Have you ever seen an apple that looks like that? So this water bottle is really interesting. It also has no ball bearing inside the spout. So normally the hamster will lick the ball bearing and it will let a little drip of water out, but then that will hold the rest of the water in. But it's not actually as drippy as I thought. I mean, it is dripping, but not as bad as I thought. That just goes through there and then that clips on there. Ta-da! Okay, so we have our increasingly soggy cage here. So I figured we'd try and put some things in to make our hamster's life a little bit better. We would ideally need to add, you know, a few inches of bedding so they could dig, make burrows, generally be a normal hamster. Unfortunately, that does mean that the food bowl, which is fixed in the bottom, now cannot contain food. So maybe in there a hamster might like a couple of things to do. So maybe something to chew on, something to keep their teeth down and prevent a little bit of boredom. They might like to chew a variety of different textures. So here we've got a seagrass chew and a loofah chew. So as I said, they like burrowing, so maybe we'll chuck in a toilet roll tube for them to go through and play with. And maybe some little enrichment, we'll chuck in this bridge as well. Kind of goes with the cute, fun aesthetic. So at the moment, all they've got for a house is this, which realistically, a hamster is going to struggle to fit in, even a dwarf. So maybe we'll give them a nice house. This one is big enough that they can go in, build a nest, maybe store a bit of food. Unfortunately, there isn't a way of attaching an exercise wheel to the side of the cage. So I think we're going to have to do away with this one and use a flying saucer, which sits on the base of the cage, doesn't need to be attached. Perfect. It'll have to go that way up. This is ridiculous. Here we have it, our perfect hamster setup. Now obviously this got really silly, but it was to sort of demonstrate that hamsters need more. So would anyone actually use this as a hamster cage, or is it just intended as a travel cage? Well, it does say vacation home. I obviously would not put any animal in this for any extended period of time. So having a look at the reviews on Wish, it does seem like people are actually using this as a hamster cage. Overall, it's got a 3.9 star rating out of 5. So it's basically 4 out of 5. So some people obviously in the comments are saying that it's an inappropriate size, but there's lots of people who are saying great little cage for my robo, awesome for my male mouse, arrived super early, great quality. Someone saying that it's super small for my hamster, they're acting up when I put him in it. Yeah, I would act up if you put me in this. It's like size ratio, say a dwarf hamster is that big. The base of the cage is probably only 6 times the size of the hamster. It's like living in a cupboard your whole life. Someone put the perfect size and easy to put together. It does say living habitat, so people are reading that and actually putting an animal in this to live in this. A lot of articles online now, everything to do with hamster recommendations and stuff tends to be in square inches of floor space. So to work out the square inches of floor space, basically you want to measure the length by the width, times those two numbers together, and you get the floor space. So the detail, for example, the whole of the detail is around 1,000 square inches of floor space. So I'm going to try and work out the floor space of this beautiful little thing. It's going to be a little bit difficult because it's circular, but I'm not going to put too much time and energy into this, so I'm going to measure it as if it was square. I'm being a little bit generous here with this and measuring it at 5 inches by 6 inches. So 5 times 6 is 30 square inches of floor space. Wow. Is this the smallest hamster cage we have ever seen? Quite possibly. So just for comparison, for the size of this compared to something which is widely regarded as one of the worst cages, the critter trail. And a critter trail, just this one that I found, is 14.5 inches by 11.25, which provides around 163 square inches of floor space. 163, 30. So you could fit around 5.5 of these into a critter trail cage. So I've just put a bit of food in there in her arena, just so you can get an idea of size and of how totally inappropriate this cage is. She is quite enjoying walking in and out because she can. If you forced a hamster to live in there, I am absolutely sure you would see a lot more behaviours that show that hamsters are stressed. You would see a lot of bar chewing, you would see more cage aggression. It's just really not a nice environment for your hamster to be stuck in. So a big thank you to Hedwig for playing along today. She woke up just in time to test out this monstrosity. It's just a perfect example of something that's made for kids and consumers, and something that they obviously haven't thought about the animal and what the animal needs and the animal's welfare. They've just gone, oh, this will sell. Just because it's sold does not mean it's suitable. It does not mean that this is a actual appropriate environment for a animal of any kind to live in. I don't care how small. I think that's the issue with hamsters. They're seen as these little small animals that are for kids, so you can get them a small cage and they don't take up any room. Hamsters need so much space. In the wild, these guys would travel up to 5 miles a night. They would cover a huge amount of floor space. That's why we have to have wheels and flying saucers and all those sorts of things to try and recreate all of that natural energy that they would be expending in the night. So if you get them something like this, they can't expend that energy, which means that they end up with all this energy pent up. They can become aggressive, they can really injure themselves trying to get out, they can bar chew to the point where they can break their teeth. It's just really, really horrible. Leave a rant down below if you were also enraged by this, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye! She's so cute!